Close your eyes, please. Close your eyes. Thinking of God and Gurus. Thinking of the breath. Thinking of how he is breathing. Om Sahana Bhavantu, Sahano Bhunaktu, Sahaviryam Karavavahe, Tejasvi Namadi Tamastu, Madhivishavahe. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. I bow to God, I bow to my Gurudev, Baba Hariharananda ji, I bow to my Guruji, Paramahamsa Prajnanananda ji, I bow to all the masters of our lineage, to saints and sages of all religions all throughout time. And I bow to all of you, living power of God. Jai Guru, Jai Guru, Jai Guru. So, here we are again, right after Christmas, before a new year. I would just like to start with a small quote from a poem that Gurudev used to love. And he would always say it at Christmas time. He would say, I know not how the Bethlehem babe could in the Godhead be. I only know the manger child who brought God's life to me. This is so beautiful. This is part of a much longer psalm. And Gurudev would always, he would find the divine everywhere. So these would be in Christian psalms. He would look into English and American writers, poets. Of course, he would read from Tagore and Bengali. Everything was God. Everything is God. But particularly, Gurudev was focusing on the gentleness of the Christ child, the baby Jesus at this time. The celebration just the other day. So on one hand, you have the grandeur of this child representing the Godhead. And this small quote says, I don't know how that this little baby from Bethlehem could be in the Godhead. But I do know this little child in a manger. Very simple conditions. I know that this child brought God's life, God's love to my heart. The simple way of perceiving the divine. The simple way. And this is one reason why we so celebrate Christmas time and everything that this baby brings to us in the manger scene, and why Gurudev himself and Guruji always insist on having a manger scene to show the simplicity, the greatness of God in the middle of the most humble of circumstances, giving birth in a stable, on straw. To find God everywhere, in everything and everyone. But here we are brought to this particular scene. And to perceive the divinity within the child in this story is to perceive things based on innocence, gentleness, love. No great texts from academics, no scholars analyzing this, just the gentleness of the heart. And this is one of the beauties of this particular seen and the arrival of the divinity amongst us, it also shows how God, out of love and consideration for his creation, all of us, came himself in a divine form for us to perceive that we also can reach that. Not we can, we should, we are to reach that. If you take a little baby and you put it in your arms, how will you feel? Everything will change. You can take this little baby and put it in the arms of the biggest, roughest, toughest fellow. Even his voice will change. He won't speak to the baby, say, hello, little baby. No, he would change. He would say something to try to draw a smile from this child. And even this big, rough, tough fellow would feel the gentleness within, and he would begin to change. The idea of changing, the idea of transforming, this is what the Christ child brings, that we are also to transform, that we are to remember our origin, and we are to focus on our objective, where we're going. Guruji used to say, is that why is it we love a little baby so much? It's because the baby comes fresh from God, as if it was warm out of the oven, fresh from God, that innocence. And this is what we see. When we looked at Guruji's message, speaking of Guruji, when we look at his message the other day, he talked about the flow of time, because that's another thing that we really perceive now. Christmas time is related with New Year's, which we have in a few days, and time is passing, time is passing, time is passing. On one hand, yes, we should say, oh, what did I do with my time? Did I do enough? Maybe not. All right, let me change, let me develop. On the other hand, there's another side of this, that we see that everything is in this state of flow. Everything is in this state of flow. Gurudev had a phrase that said, life implies evolution. We are changing. Even in this body, new cells are being born and dying. Things are changing in the body. Things are changing in our environment. Things are changing on our planet for sure. Changing and changing and changing. And they always will. And they always will. But they are changing towards something. It's not just changing willy-nilly, just changing. No, it's changing. This flow is going in a direction, a particular direction, as we should be changing in a particular direction. And all of the flow of life is with us. It's encouraging us. It's saying, don't stop here. Go forward, go forward. In life, when we see things being very happy, we have those moments. Everything is good, right? Money is good, family is fine, health is good. All right, wonderful. Still, there will be change. So we can't just hold on to that. We'll go forward. Other things will come. Tragedy, sickness, sadness will come. But even those are not permanent. Everything is in this flow. Everything is in this flow. There's nothing that's not changing except for the divinity behind everything. All Prakriti, all this divine play is in a state of change and transforming, and Divine Mother is transforming everything, but underneath Purusha, unchanging. Unchanging. And our purpose in yoga, and our purpose in life, is to focus on that. As we go through the changes, we see them, we participate in them, and at the same time, We are the witness of all of this change. To be simultaneously participant and witness in life. It's happening. We are doing our part. And then we get to the point we ask ourselves, who is doing that part? Who is doing? He is doing. So I perceive him. I perceive him through all of these changes, through all the ups and downs of life. Nothing will ever stay the same except for the divinity deep behind all of this and within all of us, within all of nature and all of creation. If there's one thing that we've learned during this pandemic time, is that everything is connected. Everything is part of life, and we are part of that as well. Everything is connected. We are part of this great ecosystem. Ecosystem, we always think of, all right, plants and animals and elements, yes, but everything else. The politics of our times, all of these changes, the climate changes on the planet, all of these changes, everything is changing. We are participating in that, but we, as Kriya Bandhs, we also should be the witnesses of that, perceiving, say, so there is change. So there is change. Oh God, give me the strength, give me the courage, give me the discipline, determination, give me the love to perceive what is this change and what should I do? If we see tragedy around us, if we see difficulties, we should try to help and yet perceive that there's a purpose for that. No reason that we should ask, oh, why did God do this? Why did God do that? There's no answer for that. And who did it? But we have an answer of one thing. What do I do in that challenging moment? Do I reach out to help? Do I try to encourage? Do I try to lift people up? This is the key. This is the key. No use spending so much time asking why. Recently here we've had people saying, but what is karma? Why is this and why is that? All right. We may first try to be concerned and try to find a reason. But I ask you, why look backwards? Look forward and planting the seeds now. We're planting seeds now. This is the Kriya Mana Karma. Are we building the foundation for our own future, for the future of our families, for the future of our civilizations and humanity, for the future of the planet? This is what we should focus on. Not why. All right. Many things were wrong. So get up, dust ourselves up, and go forward. No use lamenting, no use looking back and say, why is everything happening? Everything is God. Everything is God. And God has given us so much. You know the phrase from St. Luke? To whom much is given, much is required. Much has been given to us. Much. And much is required. When you read Guruji's message about the flow of life and the looking towards nature, and what does nature do? Nature is always giving, always giving. So the question is, are we giving? We should think. Look at all of the ecosystem of the world. All of you ecologists out there and those who are studying sustainability and all, very good. Everything in God's creation has a purpose. Every element has a purpose. Every rock, every mineral, Every plant, every insect, every animal has a purpose, and all of it is participating with life. If tomorrow something would happen that all the insects disappear from the planet, oof, it would be ruin, destruction of this world. We would not survive. If something happened tomorrow that all the water would disappear, we would not survive. If the plants, if the grass, even the most humble grass would disappear, we would not survive. If the bees, if the ants disappeared, we would not survive. If we disappeared, would nature continue? Yes. It would thrive. It would thrive. So here we are, a species that has come, and we believe everything was made for us. But instead of being stewards of this world, we have exploited it. That we know. Because our perception is that these were made for us as a part of it, as opposed to perceiving that we are part of this ecosystem. We are just part. Nature's going along just fine without us. We've had moments of that, even during the pandemic, when we were on lockdown and staying at home. The birds are doing well. The plants are doing well. Everything is doing fine. There's a lesson, isn't there, in that? There's a lesson. If you think about what Guruji was writing, about all of these factors of life, even the clouds, he said, they're giving something. A tree is giving fruit and giving shade. Animals are all giving something and they're participating in life. So the question is, what are we giving? What are we giving? Well, we do have one thing. We do have one thing that we should, that we can and we should bring into play, and that's our consciousness, our awareness. Awareness of everything around us. If you see all evolution as an evolution of consciousness, then we look at these other forms. We look at mammals and fish and birds and insects and trees and plants, all as different levels of consciousness on an evolutionary path. Then we are the older brothers, aren't we? We're the older brothers. If we as older brothers to life, all of this life, if we were truly loving, if we were the stewards of life, taking care of everything the very best we could, then we would be playing our part. In a sense, we'd be encouraging these younger brothers on the evolutionary path. They're coming. And we should say, come, come. We will not abuse you. We will not exploit you. We are part of you. You are part of us. Everything is divine. There's nothing that's not divine. Albert Einstein would say that there are two ways of looking at the world. One, as if nothing is a miracle, and the other as if everything is a miracle. Everything is a miracle. Should we not see the divine everywhere? Should we not see God everywhere? Should we be separating this is, this isn't? Should we not try to find the divinity behind everything? This is what we learn from our gurus. This is what I have learned. If I could tell you a little personal story. Way back in the 80s, I had a little car, and I was blessed by many times being able to drive Gurudev to a meditation hall or someplace in New York, where we were living at the time. And it was a great responsibility. And oh my, I'd have my guru sitting in my little tiny Dodge Colt, and I'd strap him in, and we would drive through the streets of New York to get to where we were going, either the Chuck Levitan Gallery or somewhere. And I would notice whenever we would pass a cathedral, a mosque, a synagogue, a church, no matter, wherever we would pass one, Gurudev would sit and he would bow. And driving past another synagogue, Gurudev would bow. And I said, why? I was thinking. It took me some time to develop enough courage to ask him. And one day I said, Gurudev, I know you're not Catholic. I know you're not Jewish or Muslim, but I noticed that you're always bowing. I said, why, Baba? And he would smile and he would point and he would say, because there they speak of God. There they speak of God. It made no difference for him. But his religion, it's a different form of speaking of God. God is one. God is one. There are different interpretations, different ways. In the same way, we are all God. Each one. Each one. He would ask for people to sit down. You move here, you move there. Let me see, over here, over. He would move everyone so he could see everyone. He was seeing the face of God. The face of God. And he would ask, when you look at your face in the mirror, do you see the face of God? No, you should. You should. The face of God. Everywhere, everywhere, everywhere. Learning about divinity, we learn about divinity through studying scriptures. We learn about divinity by hearing holy men. But we also learn about divinity through this perception that God is here, and God is here, and God is here. Even sometimes we may feel, oh, he's a little bit covered up. Still, he is there. There's no place that God is not. There's no place that God is not. When we perceive divinity, this is not passive. This is dynamic. Meaning, we should engage. Engage means not to bring everyone into your home, but to say, oh, I should respect, I should show kindness, I should show encouragement, even with difficult people. God is there. At least I can pray from a distance. So we are in this flow of life, and everything is changing and changing. But God is always there. Remember that our perception of life, our perception that everything is connected, that all life is connected, that we are connected with this divinity, that we are passing through, and we should perceive that. This is all based on our perception. So we should take note of ourselves. How do we see things? Where do my thoughts go? God is Satchitananda, right? Sat Chit Ananda, existence, consciousness, bliss. For someone, let's say a denser type of human or person, their existence, their consciousness and bliss or happiness is related with denser things. Let's call it the first three centers. With how much they have, how much they earn, all the different things they can buy, all the relationships they can have, all the nice food they can have, and the focus on the existence within that, their consciousness is within that, and their happiness is that. All right. Can we go above that? A little higher? Anahata, Vishuddha? Can we perceive the emotions, understanding the emotions, choosing love, helpfulness, kindness, higher philosophies here? That would be Sat Chitanananda. So our existence, our consciousness, and our happiness would be in that realm. So we study more, we study philosophies, we do all this, we try to watch our emotions. All right. It's a little higher. Then there is the highest. Then there is the highest. Above. True Satchit Ananda. Existence, consciousness, bliss. Based on truth. Based on what is above. Dharmakshetra. The divine kingdom. To perceive all from the divine kingdom. This is Kriya Yoga. This is Kriya Yoga. And as we practice, as we learn to perceive life through the divine kingdom, then we interact in all of the different ways. We do it the very best we can. We begin to understand. We can understand others. Always go back to what should be guiding us. This should be guiding us. We should stay above. Tagore said, poem. He was a great poet, Nobel laureate. Our poem, our life, each one of us, as we go through this time, through all of the ups and downs, just like an epic poem, if our focus is above, if our focus is on fulfillment and purpose, then this gives meaning to our life. And then life can be perceived through love. When we see our own life as a poem, we see our life as a poem. This is his instruction. You can read it in his book, Sadhana. If we make our life into a poem, then it doesn't matter how many times we fall, as long as we get back up again. And deliberately focus on what is truth, what is important, what takes us forward. Then we join with this flow, as Guruji would talk about. Time is flow, life is flow. But as Gurudev would say, life implies evolution. This is the flow. This is so our life can become a beautiful poem. We are here for a time. One day this form ends. We don't end, but this form ends. But what will be the poem expressed through this lifetime of each one of us? Think of that. Surrender to God. Say, oh God, show me how to make this life a beautiful poem, an expression of you. So that when I go through, I try my best to perceive divinity in everything. To say God is here, and God is here, and God is here. Looking into ourselves, trying our utmost to root out what doesn't take us forward, the negatives, root them out, Say, no, thank you. I don't need this anymore. I don't need this anymore. And we perfect our poem. We perfect every verse. And if there would be an essential factor that we learn from our gurus, that we see in the face of baby Jesus, and we take into the new year, the factor is love. If we could try to bring love into everything we do, to bring love into our careers, our professions, our work, to bring love into our family, to bring love even with our neighbors, to bring some element, then we know we're on the right track. We can never be wrong. We can never be wrong with that. So in this year, our pandemic year, we have been challenged, and we still are being challenged. It's not finished yet. We're still being challenged. But this is teaching us something. This is teaching us that everything is connected. We are connected with all humanity. We are connected with every single country, no matter what cultures there are, no matter what languages there are, no matter what religions there are. We are one humanity on this one planet, and we are part of all of this, all of existence. When we live consciously and we try to bring love into this existence, then we are expressing what our gurus have always showed us. They've showed us that. Even in the midst of all of these challenges, you know. Since I was thinking of poetry today, because we can see the divine in everything. We should see divine in art. We should see the divine in music. We should see the divine in poetry. Not only in specifically secular poetry or music, but yes, God is there, extrinsically or intrinsically, doesn't matter. Everything is divine inspiration. Everything is divine inspiration. So we began with Gurudev taking the one psalm and talking about the manger child. And I was thinking of Tagore saying that our own life should be a poem, and the poem with this progression of our own soul. And there's another poem I always love by Walt Whitman called "Oh Me, Oh Life." And in this poem, he's saying all of these terrible things that were happening. This is the time of the American Civil War. And he said all these terrible things and all this destruction. And he's saying, why? He's asking God, why this? Why that? What am I doing here? What should I do with all of these sad things? And in this, at the end of the poem, it says, question. I will read this part. It says, "Oh me, oh sad recurring, what good amid these, oh me, oh life?" And then it says, answer, that you are here, that life exists, an identity, that the powerful play goes on, and you may contribute a verse. The powerful play of God is going on, and you may contribute a verse to this great play. This is the poem that Tagore was talking about. We can. You notice how interesting he said, you may contribute a verse. You may not. You may not, but you may. You may, if you are conscious, if you are bringing love into your environment. So while we are here, we are participants in this great drama of life. At the same time, we are perceiving that this is God. And for some reason, we are here. We are here now. And we are here to contribute this verse, to encourage, to give solace, to give comfort, to lift up, to show respect, to show some kindness, compassion. This is why we're here. This is why we're here. This is what we should remember. And if we forget many times, which we all do, and we stumble and we fall back into some bad habits and things, becoming aware that we get ourselves up, we dust ourselves off, and get back into the battle. Get back into the fray. Do the best we can. We have this whole flow of life. And this whole flow of life is drawing us forward. This great river is drawing us forward. We should not be afraid. We should not be afraid. We should surrender and participate with love, with kindness. Because as long as we participate in love, then we are definitely on the right track. So time is going on. I think we are to meditate a little bit. Just remember, each one of us has a role to play. Each one of us has a role to play. I would say none is greater than the other. If God is in everything, God is in everyone, then there's divinity everywhere. We have different expressions of that. So we should do the very best we can. Don't waste time. Don't waste time. Guruji's message was, time is flowing. In other words, a lot of time has gone past. Do we have more time to come? I don't know. The past is the past. We have the present. Maybe we have a future. We hope we do. But everything depends on the quality of the seeds we plant today. Is it not? If we plant seeds, good seeds, in the hearts of others and in ourselves, then we have a chance. Close your eyes, please. Everyone close your eyes. Focusing on the breath. Focusing on the breath. Oh God. Oh God, you are in every breath. First, just feel the breath. Feel it as it comes through us. Perceive the breath with love, with kindness. This moment. There is only this moment. The past is finished. The future may come, but we know only this moment. And we know this breath. Focus on it, please. Take a slow, long, deep inhalation. Slow, long, deep exhalation. Inhaling slow, long, deep. Exhaling slow, long, deep. Inhale slow, long, deep. Exhale. Continue, please. Feeling the breath as it comes in, as it comes out. Loving God in every breath. This is the quality we add to our attention. Love. Gurudev would say, your breath is my presence. This is the presence of all our gurus. They are in us at every moment. They are in us in every breath. Be fearless, as Babaji would say. Be fearless. We are one with this force. We are one with them. Inhale, slow, long, deep. Hold and bow as far as you can. Exhale. Keep focusing on the breath. Keep focusing on the breath. Oh God, you are kind to me. Even this moment, you are kind to me in Sadhu Sangha. Focusing on progress. Focusing on purpose. You are kind to me. Please teach me. Guide me. Show me. Please show me. Dhyanamoolam Guru Murti, Pujamulam Guru Padam, Mantramulam Guru Vakyam, Mokshamulam Guru Krupa, Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Oh God, you have given me the guidance of gurus who are with us every step of the way, holding our hand every step of the way, taking us forward. Let us learn. Let us practice. Let us practice. Take a slow, long, deep inhale, inhale, hold, and then sit back up. Exhale, keeping the eyes closed, staying with it. Focus on the point between the eyebrows, please. Inhaling, exhaling. But inhale with love. And exhale peace. Inhale love. Exhale peace. God is love. God is peace. Inhale love. Exhale peace. Continue, please. Inhale. Even to the cave of the cranium, deep within. Exhaling. The Agna Chakra, the Yogananda would call the Christ point, the Christ center. Keep breathing. Love. Peace. Going into the silence. Into the quiet. Receiving the divinity into this silence. Quieting the mind and the thoughts. Quieting the words. Leaving the turbulence of the surface and diving deep into the silence. Profound. Into the quiet. The origin of everything. Oh God, guide me, please. Continue for a bit, please. And be the witness. Who is breathing? Who is inhaling? Who is exhaling? He is. I am perceiving that. I am perceiving that. He is in the depths of my being. The very depths of my being. My strength, my guidance, my Lord. Just gentle meditation for a bit, please, in the silence. Just a bit more. There is only this moment. This is union. This is yoga. I and he are one, and always have been one. Om Sarvam Kavidam Brahma. Everything is Brahma. Tattvamasi. Thou art that. Aham Brahmasmi. I am Brahma. As Guruji has instructed, we'll chant 5 times. Mahamujaya Mantra. Om Trayambakan Jajamahe Sungandhin Pushti Vardhanam Urfa Ruka Miva Bandharat Mrityor Mukshiyam Amritat. Om Trayambakan Jajamahe Sungandhin Pushti Vardhanam Urfa Ruka Miva Bandharat Mrityor Mukshiyam Amritat. Om Trayambakan Jajamahe Sungandhin Pushti Vardhanam Urva Ruka Miva Bandharat Mrityor Mukshiyam Amritat. Om Trayambakan Jajamahe Sungandhin Pushti Vardhanam Urva Ruka Miva Bandharat Mrityor Mukshiyam Amritat. Om Trayambakan Jajamahe Sungandhin Pushti Vardhanam Urva Ruka Miva Bandharat Mrityor Mukshiyam Amritat. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace and harmony for our families, our communities, our countries, all of humanity. And peace and harmony all throughout the natural world. All the plants and animals and the elements and all the creatures. Everything is God. And peace and harmony all throughout the universe. All is one. And we are one with that. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Oh God, please guide our steps so that every step we take is in your direction. Grant us more discipline. Grant us more perseverance. So we never stop until we reach the goal. And grant us more love so that we can perceive you everywhere, in everything, in everyone, and also deep within ourselves. Oh God, let my life be this poem. Through your guidance, every expression be yours. Jai Guru, Jai Guru, Jai Guru. I humbly bow to all of you at this auspicious time, joining Christmas and New Year's. May God's blessing be with all of you. And I bow. Jai Guru, Jai Guru, Jai Guru. I bow to you all. Thank you very much. Jai Guru, Jai Guru. Until the next time. Jai Guru, Jai Guru, Jai